All right, I just wanted to touch base with you guys. A lot of things going on. I got my new neck, and this is the old neck. At the end of this video, I'll show you some close-ups of the old and the new side by side. I don't know if you can see the frets, but at the end you'll be able to see them better. This is the old worn-out neck. Still got the bushings in there for the tuners. And I bought the new neck, and here it is. The bushings were in it. All I had to do was drill this hole here and all the 7 screw holes here to mount the tuning keys. And it's brand new frets. Plays like a charm, and it sounds better, which I was hoping for, but didn't really know what to expect. And I'll tell you my theory on it. I've done videos in the past about not liking neck shims because it creates a little air gap right here. When you jack the back end of the heel of the neck up a little bit to change the pitch, you create a little air gap there, which makes you lose sustain and resonance as far as I'm concerned. I've had the same results every time I remove the shims. But I didn't even notice that there was a shim in this because I've taken the neck off a couple of times to adjust the truss rod. That's the only thing I don't like. You see, you really can't get to this screw here unless you take the neck off. But when I took it off, there was a little half of a piece of thin pick, even thinner than this one, I think, right at the base, sticking out like that. And I really never noticed it because the paint's white and it was kind of embedded into the paint. But it finally came loose, and I said, oh shoot, I didn't even notice that. So I took it out. Didn't think it would make much difference, and it barely made any difference in the pitch. And I actually like the results because, and I'll explain to you what the pitch will do to your adjustments on your bridge. All right, here's a little tip on the shim. Not sure exactly why Fender, I think, almost put them in as standard forever. When I would think that they cut the pocket to make it the angle of the neck correct. And I don't believe in shims, but here's why. And here's a clue that you might be able to figure out if you've got a shim. But see, if you stick a shim in that pocket at the base, you're going to tilt the neck up. This part's going to go up, and the headstock is going to go down. So you're going to change the pitch of the neck and make the neck flatter. So consequently, when that happens, and this is how this is a clue on your guitar, if you have a shim, and you notice that your bridge pieces are jacked way up to get the string height you want, like at the 17th fret, and I usually am at around, right now I'm at 6/64, 5 to 6/64 in this area right here is a good height. And if you notice that these are way up to the very tops of the screws, then you might have a shim in your neck, because the neck is so flat that that's making the strings go lower, because the headstock's tilted down now. So in order to get this 5/64 here, or 6/64, you have to raise these way high to get that clearance at the 17th fret. So when I took that little pick shim out, the neck tilted just ever so slightly up. The headstock went up, this part went down. And so that raised the strings right here just a little bit, and I was able to lower these bridge saddles down just a bit, not much. They're still pretty high, but I'm just saying that if you notice that that you have to raise these really high and you can't even go high enough, then you probably have a shim, and you should probably try to take it out and see what happens. And on the opposite side, if these are so low, as low as you can go, and your strings are still real high here, then you probably need a shim. But like I said, I'll put a link in the description about the proper shims. You want a full pocket wood shim made out of maple, the same wood, or a hard wood. They make them at StewMac, and it fits the whole pocket. Now, the only thing I don't like about that is you're going to raise the whole neck up a little bit. And I don't like shims in general, but if you're going to use one, use a full pocket shim, not just a little piece of paper. Some people will put a business card here or a little piece of credit card, and like I said, you end up with that gap and you lose all your sustain. But it sounds louder, which was a shock to me. I didn't, either that or my ears have gotten more sensitive, but it's louder, has a little more sustain. Mr. Leslie. So, the hard part about, well, all I can say is that it sounds better. And it was tricky because I actually thought that when I got the neck, that these 4 holes, the mounting holes right here, were going to be drilled already, and all I was going to have to do was screw it on. Well, there were no holes in the new neck. And I actually asked Bill Nash, I said, what's this say here? Fat Matt. And he wrote back and said, Fat Matt is the nickname for the guy that does the frets on these necks. But this one's dated 10/15/2012. That was the one that I've worn out. The other one's dated 2019. This one. But either way, I looked up on StewMac's website how to drill those holes, and I got a little nervous because they highly recommended a drill press. So I started looking for a drill press, renting a drill press. I wanted to make sure I got it right. Well, of course, me being Mr. Impatient, said, I can drill this thing straight with a regular drill and just eyeballing it. So there's a trick. You take the plate off, these 4 screws, and you, well, actually, you stick the neck on there, you put the screws on there in the plate, and you tap them with a hammer a little bit to make your marks. Then you take the neck off and you drill the 4 holes, and you only go in about 1/2 inch. And I went 7, I think they said 1/8 of an inch was the usual right hole, but I thought that was just a hair too big, and I was afraid I'd end up stripping them out later. So I went a 1/16 of an inch less, I think 7/64, and it worked perfectly. Anyway, you have to get the neck. The neck sits really tight in this pocket, and you have to get it seated perfectly before you mark those holes. And I did the best I could, and I think I got it right. But I just wanted to show you that I've got a new neck now. It sounds great, plays great. I wanted to put a little teaser out there on Astroman, the Instrumental, which a lot of people may not have heard. It's, I just like the way... It's the amazing thing about that song is it's typical Jimmy. He drives you crazy. I mean, it's simple stuff like that, but he'll go. Hits that open E or E flat. I mean, I hope I didn't blow the camera away. It's pretty loud. So he hits that open E. Sometimes I think he just plays with these two fingers. Slopping it up a little bit. But I'll do a whole video on that. Anyway, I wanted to touch base. I've been trying to get this thing done. Hopefully I didn't blow the camera away. I just want to let you know I got my frets. I got my old neck. I actually bought some Just Car frets. I'll show you those real quick. Hold on. Where are they? These are supposedly a little bit harder. So I got my bag of frets there, pre-cut. And And they are supposed to be a little bit harder nickel silver, so they should last longer. So I'm going to get the other old neck done for a backup. Now I have time to do that. I can just take it down there. He can spend weeks on it if he wants. I did have to take the nut off of this one because the Tux nut that came with the new neck was way messed up. I mean, it just way high. The action was way too high at the first fret. So I just luckily just took the old one off, put it on, and it worked perfectly, fit perfectly. Got lucky there because I do not like messing with nuts. All right. Well, you guys take care, and I'll be doing more videos. Sold all my Sabadia speed pedals yesterday, or today. I shipped the last one that I have. Ordered a bunch more to make 10 more. So if anybody needs one, let me know. Talk to you later. All right, I wanted to show you the difference between this neck and the new neck. This is the old neck. I don't know if you can see those frets. They're pretty flattened out. And I'll be so happy. For some reason, Jimmy plays a lot in B or C. It's actually B when he's tuned down. And you wear that section out a whole bunch when you're working on his stuff. About the 9th fret. And then I've got all these pretty frets, brand new. I'm going to have to change that nut. Also, I'm going to have to drill the little holes for the tuning pegs and the string tree. You know, these screws back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 holes there, and get the string tree in the right spot, which will be a little tricky. And drilling these 4 holes here is not the easiest thing either. They recommend a drill press, which I don't have, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. But good thing is the StewMac has the instructions on how to get it straight. It's a very tight fit, perfect fit in the pocket, so it's all lined up, centered and everything. But it'll be a big improvement. Then I can get this thing refretted. But did I mention that I'll probably take this bone nut and replace that tusk nut? You can see it's jacked up way too high on the... Even if I used it, I would need to shave it down some. And the last time I took one of these off, it really wasn't even completely flush with the neck pocket or the nut pocket all the way across. They put these little humps in the center for some reason, and so there's 2 voids on each side of the center. Shouldn't have. It should be a solid contact for best tone. So I'll probably just take this one out, and hopefully it'll just pop right in that slot.